Hey there friends, welcome back to my little corner of the internet, my YouTube channel. My name is Liz, my company is Hello from Liz Mathews, and I am very excited to spend some time with you today. Heads up, I don't think it's going to be a small amount of time. You might want to grab a pen and a pad of paper to scratch some notes down on. I have a lot exploded around me, in my head, in my notes, and I'm not feeling super organized as a heads up. But we have a lot of things to catch up on, to touch base on, announcements I have to make, and I just want to let you know what's been going on and catch up, because that's the part I love the most about this format is, connecting and making friends and sharing a bit of me with you. I hope you have been very well. Today is July 27th, 2022. Which is very hard to believe. 2 days ago, it was 5 months until Christmas, which made me very happy and very, as Laura would say, I'm having palpitations. But time is going really, really fast. I can't believe we're more than halfway done the year. Okay, let's cut the chit chat. Let me real quick move into some things I really wanted to check off the list and share with you, and then I will fill you in on all the things. You guys, I have Kathy Barrick, who is my mom's, new releases here. She released 3 new designs a couple weeks ago, and we intended to do a floss tube together, but it just didn't happen. It's been that kind of year. Things come up and we couldn't do it, so I have them here. This is the top of my stacks of things to share with you, and because that is the most exciting thing, I am going to start there. Then I have announcements about my classes, upcoming workshops, designs. We have to talk StitchCon. You know what I think we should do is probably put some timestamps in the description of this video. So the description box is that little part of the video that you can drop down and see all the notes about this video. I'll have my contact information, any pertinent information down there, and I will include timestamps. If you're like, just take me to the StitchCon stuff, I'll put a timestamp down there so you can jump to that part of the video and other kind of sections that I think will emerge as I'm chatting with you today. Hey there guys, it is Later Liz here. I am interrupting your viewing to let you know that in the end I decided to do a separate dedicated StitchCon video that I'm going to record tomorrow. So it's actually not going to be at the end of this video, and I wanted to let you know I'm going to say that it's going to be posted at the end throughout, but actually I'm gonna film it tomorrow, just letting you know. So let's go ahead and start with Kathy's new releases. Let's see, she sent me the charts too. Thank you very much, Mom. You may have seen these on the internet already. If you follow Kathy on Instagram, she is Kathy Barrick. We'll link her below. She sent out a newsletter. I think that newsletter was probably to shops only, but we're discussing having a general newsletter, or starting one for her, so let's persuade her to do that. So anyway, here they are. This is, let me get myself together here. You're gonna hear that a lot in this video, I'm afraid to say. This is Morningtide, and nope, I have the wrong thing. Okay, this is Morningtide by Kathy Barrick. Isn't that beautiful? This piece is finished as kind of a, I guess you would call this a pillow. I just love it with the Lady Dot Create Chenille trim. Love Lady Dot. And if I'm not mistaken, this was inspired by all of the forest friends that Mom has visiting her backyard that she looks at from the balcony. So I just love that. The variegated thread choices are perfect. It makes it very interesting and very painterly, I'd say. And to go along with the Morningtide pillow, Mom's Stitcher also made the tiniest and cutest biscornu. This is Rindy Richards' work. Beautiful. She has gorgeous stitching, and look at that little accessory to her pillow. They go perfectly together. So if you're looking for that in your favorite shop, it should be there now. And this is what the cover sheet looks like. Again, that's from Kathy Barrick, and it's beautiful, as are for all of her pieces. Okay, next up we have the Mill House. Ready? Okay, this is the Mill House by Kathy Barrick. Is that not fabulous? Fabulous. She's done it again. I love that owl and those butterflies. Look at that stone mill with the water wheel, the fish. Oh, it's so good, Mom. It's so good. The Mill House, do you guys want the details? Maybe I should be giving you the details. I'm sorry, I skipped that on Morningtide. The Mill House is 111 stitches high. Rewind. The Mill House is 111 stitches wide by 200 stitches high. That's more like it, and it's stitched in needlepoint silk. She of course has a thoughtful DMC conversion, as she does for all of her pieces. And that is the Mill House, available now. Oh my gosh, I just saw the heron. Like hidden treasures throughout all of her pieces. They're so good. This is what the cover sheet looks like of the Mill House, if you would like to find that online or in your favorite shop. Let me bounce back real quick. You know, I do this sometimes. Morningtide, the first piece I showed you, was stitched in needlepoint silk and Gloriana hand-dyed silks. And of course, there was a thoughtful conversion for that as well. And then lastly, Mom's new summer pin drum. Okay, let me find it. Here it is. This is called the summer pin drum. There. Let me spin this around. Of course, this could be stitched and turned into a drum, or you could stitch it and frame it, keep it, you know, traditional rectangular sampler size. Ooh, look at this. Okay, that swan, the bees, the tomato, the spool, all of it, all of it. Look at that. You could of course change the skin tone, make it whatever you'd like. You could do a black swan instead of a white, change the butterflies, do your color, your own color palette, color conversion, make it your own. We want you to love it. I speak for Mom here too. This finishing is adorable. This was, again, they're not mine. I feel sorry. I apologize. I believe this was finished by Beth Lixon, who is a master pin drum finisher. And this summer pin drum, which looks like that, and you can find in your LNS right now. This joins 3 other seasonal pin drums Mom has already released. You've seen these, but let me show you again because she sent them. This is autumn pin drum. Look, oh my gosh, she is so good. This is not gonna end well. Okay. And spring pin drum. That's the back I just showed you with that strawberry, the birds, the rabbits, the butterflies, the willow tree, and look at the top of all of these. Is that not just chef's kiss? It's so good. So these are the 3 new releases from Kathy Barrick. They, as I've mentioned, are in your favorite shops now. Place an order, stitch them up, send us pictures. We'd love to see what you guys do with them. And Mom just nails it every time. She just does. So thank you for sending those over. I'm sorry that Mom couldn't be here with me to do this today. She wanted to, but you know, things have just gotten away from us. I did pull over here my new releases. These were gone over in detail in my previous video entitled Summer Releases, so you can get all the deets there, but this is what I have put out in the market recently. You can find these at your favorite shop too. Real quick, this is just Forget Me Not. We have Garden Side. This has a tree that matches it. I didn't bring it with me, but here it is. And then we have Wildflowers, which I finished in 2 different color variations. More on that in that previous video. We'll link it below for you. And then my last new release was Sunshine. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. There it is. So you can find those in your shops now. Okay, that was probably the most exciting part of this video for stitchers to watch. So good, we got that out of the way. Now let's talk a little bit, oh, sorry, I'm shaking you up. Let's talk a little bit business news and things I wanted to make sure I told you. First of all, I am doing an upcoming virtual retreat with the Delaware Valley Historical Sampler Guild, or Historic Sampler Guild, I think that's probably correct. And this is a virtual retreat, so you can take this workshop, retreat, whatever you want to call it, from anywhere in the world as long as you have internet connection. It is happening in November, and I have designed a special piece for the guild. It is a tree, and in the online virtual workshop we will be going over how to complete and turn this into, you know, one of the trees I do. I'm sure that you guys have seen them at this point. So this is the design I came up with. Specific and available to the guild only at this time. I went for a really, you know, sampler, traditional kind of look for this tree, and it says, "With this you see, remember me." It does have the basket of apples because that is the logo of the guild. And if you are interested in joining the guild for $25, you can join and sign up to take this class in November. You will be shipped a kit full of everything you need to assemble your tree when we get together virtually in November. This is a pre-stitching situation, so you'll get the kit in plenty of time to stitch this up and finish it with me. It should be a really good day together, you know, online, just hanging out with fellow stitchers. And again, that's open to anybody who wants to join. I am gonna put the link for getting more information, joining the guild, all the stuff you need to know if you're interested in taking this class with me in the description box below. I hope to see some familiar faces, and I'm looking forward to meeting many new friends. But that is the design for the Delaware Valley Historic Sampler Guild piece. The reason it is like this, by the way, and not a finished tree, is because I stitched it, and we will be turning it into a tree together in class. So I am coming to class with exactly what you will be coming to class with. So I'm excited to finally announce that. I'm behind the ball. They've announced it, they announced it probably a month ago, but c'est la vie. It's not too late. Sign up now. I believe you have until the end of August. Don't quote me on that. Don't wait. Sign up because there will be a class cap at some point. But yay, I'm so excited to be doing that. In addition to that, what else do I have? Oh, this is exciting. Let me pull up the information. I brought my little iPad out here so I could get things correct for you. Not only will I, but my mom as well will be teaching in Florida in May of 2023. Would you believe my calendar for 2023 is full? Like, I'm fully booked through 2023. But mom and I are going to be both in Florida teaching separate independent classes at the Sunshine State Stitching Spring Fling 2023. It's taking place in Cocoa Beach, Florida, May 18th to the 20th. Registration opens August 15th, but it has been announced. So if that is something that you are interested in, you want to come hang with me and mom in person. This is an in-person event in Florida in 2023. Please sign up. We are very excited about not only teaching at the same event, but traveling together and meeting you guys. So again, I will put the link for that in the box below. Nothing has been designed yet. I don't have more to share with you than the fact that we will be there, but that is in May 2023. Okay, and then the other thing that I can announce, which I have before, is that I am going to be the guest designer at the Anabellas retreat in summer 2023 in Cape Cod, Massachusetts. That's another situation where I haven't decided what the project is going to be. I don't have anything designed, and registration's not open yet because that's far off, and Anabellas is hosting very regular retreats. So Elaine has been focused on more earlier retreat registration signups than July of next year. So I will of course let you know when that registration opens, and I'm very excited for that as well. So mark those calendars. I'll let you know when all of the dates emerge that you can actually sign up for things, because I'd love to meet you. Okay, check that off the list. Okay, let's talk shop news. I showed you my new releases. I wanted to let you know that I'm having a sale. I'm having a sale in my shop. Right now, the entire Etsy shop, linked below, is 20% off for all PDFs. I did that to celebrate Christmas in July. The sale is running through the end of July, midnight on July 30 days has it. 31st, that sale is concluded. So if you've been eyeing something and you like PDF charts, now is the time to head over and get whatever you've had your eye on. I also am putting one physical chart in my shop. My shop is all PDFs. I don't sell physical charts, except in this case, I am putting the Flowers Always chart, actual paper chart, on sale for half off in my shop right now. This is like seasonally appropriate, and it's a doozy. This is like a lot of bang for your stitching buck, if you can say that. This is one of my text/sign home decor pieces I designed, and it says, "I must have flowers always and always," which is a Claude Monet quote, and it just speaks to me. You know, 'tis the season for gardens and flowers, so I wanted to be able to spread the love of this piece right now. So head over to the shop. That pattern is available to be mailed to you for 50% off, just a happy little sale from me to you if you would like to stitch this and get it framed. All of the details about how I framed it are on the back of the chart, but it's just stitched on an oversized piece of linen and finished in an 11 by 17 prefab frame. That's what gets you that like huge sign look with, you know, very little stitching. In fact, this would be a great piece for a beginner. It's monochromatic, it's all cross stitch, and I wanted this to be in more homes. So thus the sale. Get it while it's hot. There is a limited number, so I mean, it's not like 3. There's a limited number, so if you'd like that, add that to cart and check out for half off. Okay. I am very pleased to announce that I am in the summer issue of Punch Needle Primitive Stitcher magazine. I have this piece included. It's actually on the back of the magazine if you happen to be a subscriber or if you picked this up at a store. That is my piece back there, and here it is in person. I just love how this guy turned out. My hope in doing this was to create what looked like layers of fabric, in this case a layer of homespun fabric on top of the sampler. So you can see after the stitching was done, I used straight stitches to create little X's along the border to make it look like a torn piece of paper or fabric, and I'm super pleased with how it turned out. Where am I in here? I should have bookmarked this to be more prepared. That's not what's happening today. Oh, okay, so I don't know where it is in here because I can't find it yet, but it made me think of something really awesome about this magazine. As if this magazine needs any more awesomeness. Where is it? Okay, that piece is in here somewhere, but what's really cool about this issue is that the Twisted Stitcher, Vanna Pfeiffer, is showing us how to create pin drums in this issue, which I don't know about you, but I've been seeing pin drums everywhere lately. So this is like a 10 plus, maybe 10 page spread on how to make a pin drum. So if you've been curious, if you've been intimidated, I certainly have. I've never finished a pin drum myself. Maybe now is the time that we can learn together, because Vana's tutorials are really great. But here is my contribution to the Punch Needle Primitive Stitcher summer issue. That's what it looks like. You of course have the chart, the finishing instructions, all there for you, page 74. But yay, and you can look forward to seeing me in the fall issue as well. I've actually already finished that piece and submitted it, and that'll be on newsstands probably in the next month or two. Okay, let's see here. Let me just check. I believe that's all of the like must remember to say things I have. Must remember to say these things. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick pause, kind of shuffle some things around so that I don't have this tower looming over me, and I will be right back with you to catch up with you, show you some happiness, you know, all the things that I told you I would do before. So sit tight, I'll be right back. All right, guys, thank you for letting me take a quick break, regroup, reorganize, and get ready to catch up with you. The part I love most about YouTube is, you know, chit-chatting, getting to know each other. So it has been months again, over a month, almost two, since, oh no, it's two. I think it was May 27th that I did my last actual floss tube video, not a special edition video. And that's 2 months ago. I go back and I watch my last video whenever I sit down to record another one, and I swear at the beginning of every single one, I'm like, where does the time go? How is it this date? I've been busy but well. That's like my tagline, and it all is pretty much true this time again. Things have been busy. Summer is just, it's a season of balancing, and I don't do always the best job of that. Now, in addition to balancing the garden and home and getting to visit my dad and travels for StitchCon, I also unfortunately got COVID. So that took me down for over 2 weeks. It was a very long process for me. Luckily, I am better and I don't seem to have any lasting effects that we know of. But I'm very happy to be over that. I was quarantined in our house for a week and a half. And although I felt like I wasn't very sick, I really, when I look back and see how unproductive I was and how I just like did nothing for 2 weeks, basically lost 2 weeks of very important production time, I realized I was sicker than I thought, because in those 2 weeks that I was quarantined, I was supposed to put out new releases, which you guys saw last video. They just came late. Not ideal, but I'm making it work. So since that's over, knock wood, I have been in the garden. Check out these zinnias. My gardening is, I guess it's about a 2-year love affair now, and I'm learning so much every season. This season, about half of our plants bit it between deer and rabbits eating them, or just not thriving in the soil conditions we have. So zinnias are not one of those. They are just exploding, and they make me so happy. And I brought these over because I wanted to share with you the beauty and the happiness of them. And I think that next year my zinnia patch is going to grow by 2, because there's nothing more that I love than having bouquets of flowers around the house, being able to share them with friends and neighbors and family. So I need more zinnias in my life. Aren't they just so pretty? From me to you, a virtual bouquet. I wish I could send all of you one. I attended StitchCon, which we're going to talk about in the second portion of this video, because I have lots to say. It was so much fun. I already cannot wait to register again for next year to do it all over again. It was exhausting because that's when I got sick, so it was a roller coaster, I'll be honest, but it was so good, and I'm already looking forward to next year. Because of me getting sick, I had to visit my dad twice. I stopped on the way to StitchCon. I live in Maryland. He lives in West Virginia. StitchCon is in Ohio. So I stopped to see him on my way through for just one day, one evening, one quick stop. And I was supposed to visit him on my way home, but that obviously didn't happen. So we weren't able to celebrate Father's Day until about 3 weeks later. I went down and spent a couple days with him, and that was great. He lives in a rural part of West Virginia in a holler. No joke, it's a holler. And we did some four-wheeling, we did some hiking. It was great, and we did some relaxing. I helped him do some moving because he just moved there not too long ago, as you guys might know. So the storage units and all the trailers are empty, like hauling trailers, you know what I mean. They're all empty. His move is done. He can get settled. It's so good. I'm so happy for him. It's bittersweet for me, as you know, but he seems very happy. He looks out at his 70 acres, and that's what he's worked his whole life for, so it makes me very happy. Let's see, Mom and I have been antiquing whenever we can. It's been a little bit too hot for outside markets, but we've been sure to hit up any shops that we can, and I've gotten a lot of like garden and outdoor things lately, which just makes me happy. So I'm gonna make sure that we insert some garden pictures for you here, because since the last time we chatted, the wisteria was in bloom. I think I showed you pictures of it beginning, but it bloomed in all of its glory. It's a very quick bloom. It only lasts for about a week and a half. And I wish I could invite all of you over to sit beneath it and enjoy it, because it's too good for just two people here to enjoy. So next year, I think the plan is to invite some neighbors over for drinks on the deck when it blooms, just so people can see it. So pretty. So Bridgerton. Have you guys seen that? I hope so, because it's a really good show on Netflix. And there's huge, beautiful wisteria on this historic house in London town. Okay, speaking of Netflix, TV, London, Joe and I have started watching Peaky Blinders, and I am now fully obsessed. Peaky Blinders is, if you haven't seen it, it's a 6-season series. All the seasons are out. It is concluded on Netflix about, how do I describe this? Not gangsters, that's the wrong word, but exporters, troubled, handsome men in London, and it's just so good. I definitely recommend it, and suggest that you put the captions on, because there are very heavy English accents that are kind of hard to decipher without captions, in my opinion. So I recommend that show with captions. It's so good. Joe and I are on season 3. We just made it to season 3. We've been watching an episode every night. Glass of wine, Peaky Blinders, and I have to just friend to friend tell you when I discover something amazing, and that certainly is. I've been stitching like crazy because Expo. Okay, I have a lot of like classes, special releases that I can't talk about coming up on top of Expo, which is just creeping very quietly up, like scarily quietly up. Expo is for shop owners to virtually shop with designers and producers, you know, fabric dyers, makers, and they purchase items and bring them to their shop for you to purchase. So designers put out a lot of new designs during Expo. I suspect that if you haven't been seeing a lot of Expo releases yet, that you will in the very near future, because that event happens the very last weekend in August. So yeah, that's a month. That's a month out. I'm still designing. Most designers have their stuff together a little bit more than me. They're putting finishing touches, you know, doing layout, doing all the paperwork, building their booths for Expo. Not me. I'm still here designing and hoping the next fabulous idea will come to me. fingers crossed it does. But Expo is always really fun because although it's not in person, it is a virtual market. You still have shop owners come pop into your virtual booth and you can see their face and chat in real time, which is always, it's just the best, as I've already talked about. So that is my primary focus. I know that in my last video I talked about traveling with Joe, and that is still the plan. We had decided Italy. I gave Joe a couple choices of places that really interested me and said, you pick, I want you to pick. And I chose France. Did we talk about this? I chose France, obviously. I chose Scotland and England, and then Italy. And I'm not surprised that he chose Italy. However, getting sick and seeing everybody else get sick, we decided to put that on a trip abroad on the back burner, I should say. So we will not be traveling abroad in October of this year. We have decided we're going to go to New England because we can drive there. We don't have to fly. That's not a chance of like losing a ton of money in flights that we have to cancel, because we've already had to do that. Last Thanksgiving, we had to cancel our trip last minute because of illness, and I don't want to be sitting on overseas plane tickets that we don't know when we'll be able to use. Okay, now I'm just getting really chatty on you, I'm sorry. So we have decided to go to New England. I think the plan is to specifically hit Boston and Maine. We have never been to Boston or the surrounding area, and I was in Maine when I was a little girl, but I don't remember any of it. So we're just gonna cruise up. Is it 95? Does that take you all the way up there? Look at the leaves because it's going to be October, and hopefully stop in Salem early October, so it won't be super crowded, I assume, as I would bet it gets towards Halloween. So early October, we'll just check out all of the great spots in New England. If you have any suggestions, I will take them, but I think it should be a really fun road trip, and we just need a vacation. We need a getaway. It's been too long, and I'm super looking forward to that. What else? Maybe more things will arise as I chat with you, but I'm going to get into the rest of the content that I have for you today. We're going to start with my quilts because these are just folded up pieces of happiness, and I've shared them with you in the past, so I'm real quick going to show you what I have as far as updates and what I've been working on, because this is a piece that I shared with you. Instead, I sent it to Keystone Sisters Quilting. Let me adjust here. I shared this quilt top with you in my last video and said I was about to send it off to Keystone Sisters Quilting to be quilted, and now I have it back. I have two quilts that were waiting for me when I returned, and it was like Christmas when I got to open these boxes. Keystone Sisters Quilting does all of my actual quilting. That means they decoratively quilt my cotton top to the batting that's in the middle and then the back piece of fabric in that really beautiful intricate design that you can choose. Keystone Sisters Quilting does edge to edge quilting. I think that's what this is called. And then they also do custom quilting, which I will show you in my Irish chain quilt that I have right here. But I have to show these off because I'm so excited about how they turned out. They are to the step now where I cut this part off and bind them and finish them, but I haven't had the time yet, and I wanted to be sure to show you these as soon as I could. Also, I need to mention, before I show you this baby, I pulled up their website because Keystone Sisters Quilting is awesome. I am a new quilter, as you know, and the thought of like what you do with a quilt top when you have it back was kind of intimidating. So when Jen started chatting with me from Keystone Sisters and telling me about how easy it was and to go to her website because they have step-by-step instructions, it was such a relief. Oh shoot, I X'd it out. Okay, let me find it. It's Keystone Sisters Quilting. Okay, it's like we're sitting here together. You can just watch me pull that up. Okay, so here is their website. I have slow internet for some reason. And it's so funny because this quilt in the background here is one that I want to make. So I'm taking that as a sign from the universe that I need to make that one. Okay, so on their website, they have a drop-down menu and they have a tab for preparing your quilt. And these are, let's see, I don't want anything to fall. These are all of the instructions on how to prepare your quilt top. So that took all of the fear and intimidation out of the process for me because they lay it out for you. And then they have a different tab called Reserve My Spot. And in this section, you fill out all the details of your quilt and let them know what you want, what you're looking for. And this is the cool part. They have offered a coupon, a discount, a bonus for anybody who wants to send their quilting into Keystone Sisters Quilting for service, for any of the services they offer. If you mention free shipping from Liz on this entry form that I just showed you, you will get return shipping covered on your first quilt. So be sure to mention that when you send them your pieces. You will not be disappointed. Like I said, it's like Christmas when I get my boxes back from them. So let me show you what these look like. I get excited and I jumble my words. I'm not gonna undo all of this because it's quite large, but this is how this turned out. Can you see the quilting on there? It's kind of a vine quilting, which I thought worked really well with the geometric pattern. It's called a two-step pattern from Missouri Star Quilt Company, and it's Rifle Paper Company Cotton and Steel collaboration fabric. I love Rifle Paper Company, as you guys know, and this is the fabric I chose for the back. So even the back is decorative, and that quilting shows up on the back because it stitches through all 3 layers. So this is just yay. I can't wait to get this bound and start using it. It's my intention to use all of my quilts, not have them purely decorative. I like things to be functional. So this is one of the beauties that came back from Keystone. And then let me get this other one and then we'll pause and I'll regroup again. Okay, this is my Irish chain quilt. I am very, very proud of this. This is probably the most advanced quilting I have done yet. And Keystone Sisters Quilting did custom quilting on this piece for me, meaning it's not an all over just generic repeat pattern. They actually took my quilt top, studied it, used its specifications, and did custom quilting to suit it. Can you see that? I think you can. Isn't that amazing? So that's an option from them as well. And oh, I just love it. Again, I'm not going to show you everything because it's bigger than my arms allow. This is half of it. So I am excited to get that bound, and this is probably going to go on the guest bed. It is a Tilda fabric from the Windy Day collection that I used to make my Irish chain blocks with just a cream backing. And then I also used a Tilda fabric for the entire back piece. So again, it's decorative on both sides, and I am very pleased with how both of these turned out. So if you are an experienced quilter, a newbie quilter, be sure to use that coupon code. Contact Keystone Sisters Quilting. They're so great and so helpful and kind, and I just appreciate them so much. So these should be finished by my next video. I'm gonna make the time to get this binding on because yay. Okay, I have a little bit more quilting stuff for you. Sit tight. It's just something that brings me so much joy and I have to talk about it. Chances are you have seen or you follow or you know or you love, like I do, Elizabeth and Can Stitch on FlossTube. Liz is fabulous. I've gotten to meet her at the Quilter Station retreat last September. I'll get to see her again this September at the Quilter Station retreat. She just got married. She's just, oh, she's fabulous, and I wish we lived closer so I could hang out with her more. But she is doing a quilt along, and oh shoot, I should have gotten the hashtag, because it's not a pattern that exists, but a pattern rather that she is walking you through. It is the, I'm gonna have Joe put it across the bottom. It is the Fat Quarter Remix. I believe that is the hashtag, and she is doing a fat quarter half square triangle quilt. I'm getting all of those words jumbled and wrong, but I decided to join her because I loved how her quilt turned out. And what I'm showing you now are simply some of the blocks that I have made so far. I again chose a Rifle Paper Company fabric. This is going to be a Christmas quilt, and I purchased these fabrics a while ago and didn't know what I was going to do with them, and then I saw Liz with her quilt and I was like, that is it, that is what I'm going to do. So I joined her in making this quilt for the Quilt Along. I hope I inspire you to join too. I will put Liz's information below because she has, I believe, 4 videos going over the entire process. Watch those, follow her instructions, and you will turn out with a quilt like we will have one day. What's really cool is Keystone Sisters Quilting paired up with Liz, partnered with Liz, and they are offering a quilting discount to anybody who chooses to do the quilt along with Liz. So you get a discounted price for the final quilting service. You can find out more about that in her videos 2, 3, and 4, I believe. I'm not going to share it here because it's hers to share, but go check that out and you can get a deeply discounted quilting service for your fat quarter remix. I wish I knew the proper name, if you choose to quilt along. So that's what I have been working on when I'm not stitching or gardening or tidying the house or doing all of those other things that I do. Thank you for letting me share that with you. It's really nice to have something that's not business to work on, a hobby that's not a business. I'm not trying to turn into a business or grow. It's just purely for me. That's how I feel about my journaling and my quilting, and I just like to share that with you because it makes me so happy. Okay. Where do I go now? There's so much left to say. Okay, I'm gonna take another pause and then I will be back with some kindness that has been sent my way, and then we're going to get into StitchCon, okay? Okay, hold tight. I'm gonna get a drink, clear this out, and be back with you. I've got a nice little pile here. It's actually on the smaller side of things that I have purchased and kindness that has been sent my way. So I want to share this with you first before we get into the StitchCon wrap up, because there's a lot to say about that. I purchased a couple of things from my friend Carrie of Tiger Lily Designs. You've seen this before, I've talked about it. It is the project keeper / portfolio, as I call it, that I brought with me to StitchCon, and everybody stopped over to see it in person and they loved it. Carrie, you do such beautiful work, and it's lovely. So it's a 2-sided project keeper. She makes these and sells them on the 15th of every month on her website. We'll link it below. And she has 2 different varieties. She has one that is 2 like full zip sleeves with vinyl front zip sleeves on either side. And then she also makes one that is a bobbin side and a vinyl front opposite side. And because I am a bobbinator, I really wanted to get one of those, but just loved this pattern combination of vintage stitching and fabric that she chose. So she told me that she could make me a separate bobbin keeper to match, and she did. She was in the middle of a move, she was crazy busy, and she finally got her studio up and running again, and she made me a bobbin portfolio, I guess is what I'll call it, to match. So check that out. That came in the mail last week and I've been waiting to use it so that I could show you. It comes just beautifully packaged with fabric tying it all together. All of Carrie's orders ship out with this really cool project card, which I think is so great, and a really, really kind note. So I now have these to pair together. I'll probably use this in other project keepers aside from this, you know, whatever I happen to be stitching on, or maybe I need to start getting more. Maybe that's the solution. But isn't that a beautiful pair? Carrie is Tiger Lily Designs. Again, we're linking her below. My mom did some antiquing on her own while I was on my own, and she purchased for me this really cool quilts, the Quilts of Tennessee book at an antique shop she went to, and I loved it because, I have a long history of being a horrible book displayer on video, but the quilts are all vintage, and you know that is my look. I love vintage, old textiles. So, oh look, maybe this is the way I should do it. So that's full of inspiration, and I use these books not only for choosing what quilt patterns I want to make, but also for getting an idea about how fabrics pair together. I am not so good at pairing fabrics up, so I always look to books like this that have kind of this clearly has a historical historical reference, and I use those images to try to do my best job picking fabric. Doesn't always work, but I try. I have a friend on Instagram. You guys probably know her if you are part of the Instagram cross stitch community. I believe her screen name is Ali Stitches. Ooh, I'm gonna link it below. You should definitely follow her. I feel like we will be such good friends and together a lot if we lived in the same town. She's always quilting, stitching, eating, going, doing things, and I just want to hang out with her so much. So she is also a representative for ColorStreet nail polish, and she shared some of ColorStreet's new releases on her Instagram, and I saw these and just thought, Italian tile. And as we talked about earlier, Joe and I were supposed to be going to Italy, so I purchased these. And then she very kindly sent me another set because I told her these were going to be my special occasion. Like, I'm not going to use them. I'm going to save them for a very, like, worthy event. And she was like, don't do that. Try these for a non-special occasion. And I just wanted to thank her for these because I love having my nails done. It's just I'm usually doing things that break them, like yard work or, you know, all the things that I do. So I'm waiting for these babies to grow out just a little bit so I can enjoy your kindness and also put these on for a not special occasion, just an everyday occasion. But thank you, Allison. I really appreciate that. Oh, Allison also went to, along with Jen from Stitchy Friends, and some other local friends of theirs, they stopped at the Missouri Star Quilt Company headquarters on their way to the Quilter Station retreat in April, and I was just living vicariously through all of their posts, wishing I could be there with them. So one day we're gonna get to hang out more than just those couple days at StitchCon. I was also, this was a complete surprise, and it is just beautiful. Look at this project bag that Olivia B, she's on FlossTube here, sent me. She said, this is Rifle Paper Company. Everybody knows I love Rifle Paper Company fabric. And she said it looked like an English cottage. I mean, it is like basically an English cottage scene, and she knew that I would love it. So she made and sent me this project bag that I have been saving for just the right piece, and I wanted to make sure I shared it with you before I used it. Olivia, this is so kind. I can't imagine a better pattern. You know me. This is my dream. This is my dream house in the English countryside. And I wanted to share with you her information if you would like to check out her bags and treat yourself to one. It is Hillside Rookery, and she has She's on Instagram and Etsy. Here is her business card. You probably know her as Olivia B, but she is the maker behind Hillside Rookery. So a big thank you and shout out to Olivia. I love this. And every time I use it, I will dream of that English countryside house that I am destined to have one day. I need some advice. Again, I'm like rolling through everything I wanted to chat with you about in my head. I need some advice because when I was visiting my dad, when I went down and actually got to spend some time with him, I of course brought my stitching. And in the evenings we will put a movie on and I would stitch, and his partner Eva, who has cross-stitched in the past, was very interested in what I was doing, and she was asking me questions, and I think that she would very much like to stitch again, but I want to get her a kit of some sort, maybe something on the smaller side, maybe something on Even Weave or Ada, and I knew that you guys would be the people to ask, where should I go? What should I do? Should I buy a full kit? Like, is Mill Hill good? What do you recommend for a beginning stitcher who I want to send this to her for her birthday, so I won't be there with her to walk her through. Like, explaining linen seems a little hard to do, especially over the phone. So what is the perfect little quick gift kit that I should send her? I know that you guys will know and give me your opinions and feedback, and I would so appreciate that because I want her to enjoy this craft, and I think starting with the right project is key. So nothing too big, beginner friendly. Again, she has stitched in the past, but I think could just use a little bit of a refresher. So what should I be looking for? Where should I get it? All the things. I would love it if you dropped your suggestions in the comments below. And I appreciate that very much, and I'll let you know how that adventure goes for her. Hopefully by the next time I'm down there, she's just stitching some models for me. That would be ideal, right? So we'll see. Okay, I have, do I have anything else? I do. I have something else to share with you before I dive into the StitchCon stuff. My friend Ryann of Wild Violet Cross Stitch, I follow her on Instagram. That's how I first knew her, and then I had the opportunity to meet her in real life at StitchCon, which was just a highlight. It was so great. She let me pick her brain about designing and the programs that she uses and how she designs, because it's very different than me, very different than how I used to be, I should say, after our conversations. And she shares a lot of that on her Instagram. She's kind of an open book as far as that goes. So be sure to follow Wild Violet on Instagram if you too want kind of a, excuse me, background, behind the scenes look at designing the way Ryann does it, which to me is very like modern and forward thinking, and like using all of the technology that is available today versus how I feel like I used to design, which is on a program called Pattern Maker, which is a little out of date and a little antiquated, but it works. That's probably one of the questions I get the most, is what program do I use for designing and how do I do that? So the answer to that is a PC program called Pattern Maker. It has not been updated in a very long time. I always tell people I don't recommend it, but it works, and Mom and I have used it for so long, probably 30 years now. Mom's probably used it for 25 years, if I had to guess. So we're really used to it. So, you know, if it ain't broke, but I have upgraded thanks to Ryann, and I'm gonna save that for the next video I do. I will show you what I have been using because it has been a total game changer. But what got me to this subject is that Ryann helped me with all of that technology stuff, and she is also on Facebook, and she has just been doing a ton of stuff around this community, and she has not only some stitch alongs going, some freebie charts on her Facebook page, but she is also now doing a read along, because there is a series of books out that are cross-stitched in theme, and she discovered these, she shared them, and she shared them with all of us, and I have downloaded the first one for is it called a read along? a group reading book club. I don't know what you would call it, but the first book is called Crossed by Death, and it's free on Kindle, which I have here. So I just downloaded it and wanted to just tell you all about it. It's a series of 10 books, and they're all like named something like Crossed by Death, Hanging by a Thread, something like that. So I believe it's a murder mystery, a mystery series. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't started it, but I just wanted to share that with you to tell you that you might like to read along with all of us. Again, it's free on Kindle, and I'm going to get into that this evening, I think. I'll let you know how it goes. You can follow along with everybody else who might be reading it through Ryan's Facebook page, linked below. Okay, I believe that brings me to StitchCon. Hi there, friends. I'm back. I've changed my mind, and there's a change of plans here. I did record my StitchCon segment at the end of my FlossTube video, but there were so many things that I left out. I forgot to mention things I really wanted to touch on, and I think it's because my brain is now mush and I have reached my word quota for the day. So I've last minute, after filming everything, decided to split the video into two, and my StitchCon recap will be an independent video that I will film tomorrow with notes so I don't leave anything out. So I'm sorry for telling you that it was going to be here all along. Change of plans just so that I can have the best video possible, and check back shortly. So sorry about that. I hope you have a good night and that you're doing well, and I'll talk to you later.